Okay, I have a Bilock Mortise Cylinder here. It's got 13 pins, 6 on each side, and there's one active pin in the middle. You just got to lift at some point during the pick. You notice I broke the nose off of this early in my ownership of this. I did buy a replacement, but you gotta be careful. This is actually the wrong one. I guess for a different type of Bilock. It doesn't have a little cutaway in the back for that front pin, and also doesn't have that same kind of groove thing in the front. So if you do get one of these, if you're going to tension clockwise, don't use the right side. Counterclockwise, don't use the left. You don't want that tensioner pushing in on that middle piece. So if you're going to go clockwise, you want to do it from this left side here. Or you could do like I did. I made some custom tensioners out of hacksaw blades. I like this one because it's got the longer handle, and I feel like I need to use a lot of tension when picking this, but it slips out a lot, so I'm going to use this shorter one that hurts my hand more to get tension. Closing on 100 subs, so I guess it's traditional to give something away. So I'm going to give away a number of things, but here's one of the items. This is a 2-bar. I don't have a key for it, so I'm going to make a key, and I'll include that, kind of like I did on my previous video with one of these 2-bar locks, and a number of other things. I might do it so that maybe like 2 different people win stuff, so one person doesn't win everything, just to spread the love. But anyways, we'll worry about that when we get there. 100 subs, I guess. So yeah, subscribe if you want to get in on that. All right, so let's get to picking. I'm going to go clockwise, and this Bilock is not particularly fun. It's got 2 0 lifts on gate 2 of both sides, so it's just I had to make this pick here to get underneath that one. The other side I seem to be able to get under with the Peterson, but this side, everything I had would just lift that second pin. And I got max lifts in the back, so I needed something with like this that had enough height to lift the back ones, but not interfere with that gate 2. And every time so that right front pin, I lifted into a false gate and I got some core rotation. Then I lifted into true gate and I got more core rotation. I'm going to try to keep my fingers out of the way, but it's really hard. I even moved the camera to be more behind my shoulder, but just the way I hold this tensioner, I'm covering up a lot of the lock. I'll try to keep out of the way though. So then what I'll do is I'll try to get behind that 0 lift here, and I push into the 3rd pin there, 4th pin, and I lift the 5th pin some there, but I think I want to lift it again if I can. Or is it all the way up already? It might be up high enough already. So you can see I get some counter rotation when I lift it. It's trying to jump up out of the gate, and it's giving me some counter rotation as it tries to jump out of the gate. It could be trying to jump out of true gate or false gate. It'll give you counter rotation like that. Let's check. I'll try to get underneath that 0 lift number 2. Get around to number 3 here and lift that up some. Try to get back underneath that. Let's check this front pin. It was binding. And that's why I'll lose my tension with this, because I'm trying to hold it up high so that you guys can see. Oh, that's a shame. All right, let's get back there again. Let's see. Can I scoot my chair around a little? Now I'm at risk of my head getting in the way. You can already see my glasses on there. Yeah, now my head's gonna get in the way. All right, let's try it like this. Got one click out of the last pin on this side, and another click out of the last pin there. So let's pull this back out. That's pin 6 on this side. Go back to the front one here like I did before. A little bit of core rotation for the first click, and a little bit more for the second click. Now I'm going to try to dive underneath that 0 lift second pin. I'm getting stuck on pin 5. I just push until I get under it. I'm going to lift pin 5 because that one had a false gate, and then I lifted into the gate. I'm going to push that pin 6. That lifted a little bit. Migrate out of here. Try to get under that 0 lift second pin here. Mess with pin 3. Now, I know this lock from picking it over and over. This did take me quite a while, and that's why I know where to go with what. But if you're doing this blind, I imagine it would take, it took a long time for me to figure out what's in here. So this by no way is me just picking up a Bilock and picking it, right? Not that this is going to be quick anyways. I feel like okay, so I feel like I get the things basically where I want them. And I have to kind of nudge everything to get it where I want it to go. So I nudged those a little bit more, and I felt some more core rotation when I did that. Hopefully you can see it. I know the more and more I rotate, the more and more hand gets in there. I keep checking this front one. There, I got the front one to lift up a little bit more. And my ultimate goal is to get this front left one binding, because I know that's kind of like the last pin to bind, and if I get there, I know I'm pretty much there. Okay, so pin 3 on this side, I just got another click out of. And now I'll go and I kind of like tickle the other pins, and as I tickle them, sometimes I get a bit of core rotation as they drop into their gates. Because basically the height of this is kind of like the lift I'm trying to get to if I put it in there flat. Make sure that first pin is lifted up there. And it's like I'm not like picking anything, I just keep going, tickling these, because I think they're all more or less in position by just trying to tickle them into their final place, checking that front pin every now and then. Make sure that first pin is up. Tickle these guys up. I heard something fall on, I think, the left side. I'll check that in a minute. I think those are all good. Third pin feels good. Check this front nut, binding yet. Tickle the back again. Oh, I got to get underneath on the side the pin. On the side, there's zero lift at 2, but there's also one at 4. So 2 and 4 are both like these zero lift guys that make this pick a pain in the butt. Okay, tickling the back, I didn't feel any more core rotation doing that. Check this front pin again. Keep checking that, even though I feel like this is fully set, this front pin. And the front pin stops the right sidebar from going in. So it kind of, now that this front pin's so well set, it makes me feel like that maybe the right sidebar is fully set, but I'm not confident enough yet to say that. But that might be a good indicator that your right sidebar is set. Okay, I just got some counter rotation pushing up on 5. I think it's in the gate. I'm surprised that I got a lot of counter rotation. I'm surprised I didn't hear pins falling everywhere. That's a big risk on this one, is that you try to lift something and get some counter rotation and you'll drop a lot of pins. Just a little tickling in the back there. Getting this pick back out is a challenge without trying to overlift those zero lifts. Again, feeling that first pin on the left to see if I'm there. Okay. No, I thought he was binding it. It was just my angle. That sucks. I thought I had him. Check that front one here. What is this? It's the front one there. I'm not sure what I'm stuck on. I would think that I'm there. Now I'm just going to individual check the pins. Yeah, they all feel like they're in a gate. Front one's hard to tell because it's so high. Oh wait, is the front, I got the front one up. Is the front one lifted here? When did that happen? The first pin is lifted on this side. That's what you get for not checking, right? The front pin, somehow at some point I lifted it. I guess when I was pulling this out, maybe I lifted that first pin and I didn't realize, and I just needed to tickle that first pin into the gate, and I didn't realize I needed to do that. And then we have an open, right? That's me using the back cam. I do have keys for this. I guess I should have done that before, but here's the operating key, right? And this is a quick change lock, so you have a change key here. You can stick that in, you can turn it to about there, and you can pull it out. A note, if you decide to progressive pin this and you remove enough pins, when you turn it, you're going to yank on this and you're not going to be able to get it out. You're going to get it about about this far out, okay? And then it's going to get stuck about that far out. Well, all you do is you take a little screwdriver right here, and you pull it out that way. If it doesn't pull out, you can, while you have it wedged in here, you can push in on the key, and that will make sure that this piece is lifted and all the pins are lifted, and then you can pull it out like that if you need to. Okay, so if you decide to progressive pin, that's a little tip there. So we'll go ahead and we'll zoom out here, take that key out. So let's see, pinning tray and camera. Let's go on to autofocus. All right. So another thing I don't like is gutting this is a little bit of pain. You gotta slide this front cover off, which is always terrible. And when I slide this cover on, I always risk bending a ton of springs. So it's not my favorite lock to gut either. Not my favorite to pick, not my favorite to gut. Oh, so there, the front spring flew out. I'll keep that down there. And then what I'll do is I'll get it about this far. I'll grab a pair of pliers at the back, and then I'll take my thumb and cover the whole thing so that when I pull these out, none of the springs go flying. And then we'll put the right side ones on the bottom here, and we'll put the left side ones on the top here. Okay, so springs, they're all the same springs. I've had to rebend a number of these springs because I have munged them getting that cover on and off. Like I stretched, you stretch them out and different things. In fact, I think one loop on one of these springs has broken off. I don't know which one, whichever spring is shorter. Come on. Okay, so there's the 13 springs. They're all the same. We'll start with the back right, I think. Do it with two hands. Back right, 6, 5, 4, 3. Come on. It's going back in. 2. Oh. All right, one of these is number 2. So I've gone ahead and I've labeled these pins because it would be a pain to figure out either. Otherwise, I think I put a dot on the right hand ones and no dot on the left hand ones. Yeah. Because of situations like that. And I put little strike marks on the sides of them to determine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But no, this was number 2. So those are our pins. Nothing special in here. I can't remove the sidebars. Can you see that? Let's see here. Can't remove these sidebars. They have these little crimps here, 4 crimps. So they're stuck on there. The front pin is held in place by this plate. So you'd have to slide this plate off, and then this pin will come out. And what this pin is doing is it's keeping this this piece in the way, which stops you from pressing in the sidebar. So when you lift this front pin up, it lifts that little thing out the way right there, and that allows you to move in the right sidebar. Okay. On the left side, this pin doesn't do anything, right? It only interacts with the right sidebar, and that one will come into play at some point during the picking. When you're picking it, like I said, you feel the counter rotation each time you hit a gate. So what we're looking at for gates here are our pins. You see these little holes? So these sidebars, hopefully you can see that, they stick little spears into the holes. You see that? And that means that those little nubs have to poke into these open holes here, right? Let's see, this one here, maybe you can see right there, there's a shallower cut right here. That's a false gate, and then there's your true gate, right? So your sidebar is going to drop into here, and you're going to feel a little core rotation. And when you go to try to get to the next one, it has to lift up again. You'll feel some counter rotation before you drop in the next one. There's no, I guess if you have I think if you have master pins, master wafers, whatever, I think these are ovals, or is that 3KS? Or else there's going to be 2 holes. I don't know what it is for this, but this one doesn't have any mastering, so I can't show you guys that. If I lay them out like that, you should be able to see all the false gates. Now the thing is that if you overlift one of these pins, let's see. So this one has this is the zero lift, has the gate right there. And if you overlift it, no, is that the right way around? No, that doesn't make sense. This one drops into that. Okay, here, this is a good example right here. It goes into this hole here, but if you lift it, yeah, I'm so dumb. All right, if you lift this up, this one's upside down, but here's an example. This one will get into the gate after, you can see a little bit of the wear there. It drops into that gate, and then if you lift it too high, if you pull out of that, you'll get stuck in this false gate, and probably won't be able to drop back down. You have to reset. So you want to be careful about oversetting these pins, otherwise they'll get stuck in those false gates. Anyhow, that is the Bilock. Thanks.